Hello, everybody. We want to welcome you to the CRDSU at UCalgary. Thank you for coming. We're super excited to see you. We have a few things that we're going to go over today, and I'm going to um, let Ruby start with our introductions.
Yeah, so I guess this is a table of contents, but this is what we plan to go over today. Our introductions, what is BCR, navigating your first year, what we wish we knew when we started, and your secret weapon, and then maybe a fun career Jeopardy and a Q&A at the end. So, I'm Ruby Chow. I'm a four-year student. I'm actually a double major in community rehab and disability studies and psychology. It's four route in bachelor's of a community rehab, but 5 years if you're doing a combined degree with psychology. So nice to meet you guys.
I'm Shoko. I'm in the 4-year route like Ruby, but I'm not a double major. I'm just in this for the community rehab.
Hi, I'm Walia. I am also doing the 4-year route just for the CRDS.
Hi, I'm Laura. I was in the 2-year route as a transfer student from McEwen University after I did a diploma, and now I'm an SLP grad student, starting in September.
Hi, everyone. Lastly, I am Lindsay. I am a mature student. I'm also in the two-year route. I graduated from SAIT a long time ago. We'll just leave it at that. And I am a current applicant into the Masters of Physiotherapy, just waiting to hear back whether or not I've been accepted.
So I'll kind of start off of just what is actually BCR. So it's actually in, University of Calgary. I think we all know that. It's in the faculty of the Cummings School of Medicine. It's a quite small, tight-knit program in the really larger part of Community School of Medicine. Community rehab and disability studies is an academic discipline that encompasses both undergraduate studies and graduate studies. So you can go on after doing undergraduate studies to learn a little bit more in the graduate studies. It is in the Department of Community Health Sciences, and you will be graduating as an undergraduate program with the Bachelor's of Community Rehabilitation. Some key points is what you kind of won't study. I think a lot of people have this misconception, but what you won't study is individual disabilities. Even though, the name is like disability studies, you won't actually be studying different types of disabilities individuals will have. But what you will study will be social and policy perspectives on disability, community-based rehabilitation, advocacy and social justice, interdisciplinary approaches, program development and evaluation, and a lifelong learning and adaptations. So it's all about the social side of disability and not actually the physical disability.
So, in navigating your first year, well, I feel like this program's a very like accepting and inclusive program. So I hope you kind of get that and you feel like you belong. Um, it's a little bit weird because it's a Zoom, so you can't exactly look to your left and look to your right and find people, but you can look and see the people that are like in this meeting. We do have an in-person presentation later on, so you can then physically look to your right and left and find some people and make some friends. Um, just having friends is really important, just, you know, in all aspects of things, but especially when you're just kind of like navigating change and new aspects of your life. Electives you're gonna find you're gonna have to explore early on just because your required courses that you can take for this program are limited just when you first start with prerequisites and all of that. Electives are essentially just your option classes, so just register as early as you can. just so that, you get into the classes that you want. But also sometimes you'll find that some of the classes have restrictions in numbers of people that can sign up, especially if there are programs that do take priority in filling up. So yeah, you want to just sign up as early as you can so you're not disappointed there. Having backup options is really important too, just in case you are waitlisted for some, you at least have opportunities to get into other classes. And then just choosing electives that, you're interested in, not just because they're open or whatever, just pick the ones that you're interested in. You're gonna do a lot better for those. And electives, you do want to pick ones that you're probably gonna do well in. If not, you want to be really, really interested in those. So and then in this program, we're going to have a lot of practicum experiences, three to be exact, one in your first year, second year, and then kind of like a year-long one in your final year. For those, you're going to get to experience real life or like in-field practice. So you might get placed into community-based programs. You might get placed into like research programs. But they'll kind of give you a good insight into what you can do after your degree, just fields just kind of related to community rehab and disability studies and just what this degree has to offer for you.
So, what we wish we knew when we first became students in CRDS, but also at the University of Calgary in general. First and foremost, personal wellness is like 100% important. Sleep is not optional. Trust me, I really made the mistake of barely sleeping during my degree, and it's showing. So it's definitely something you want to prioritize in your life. Um, it Before exams, after doing huge assignments. We do a lot of group assignments, so you're definitely going to need your rest after those. Um, so definitely sleep as much as you can. It's okay to say no. It's okay to ask for extensions. It is okay to not commit to every single thing that is offered to you. It is okay to set boundaries with yourself and with others, with your job, with group projects, all this stuff. Obviously, you want to be a team player, but if you have a lot on your plate, it's okay, but you need to communicate that to your group. So it's okay to say no. And then mental health really matters, especially in this degree. We talk a lot about disability and obviously mental health and all these things. We talk about physical disabilities, but also invisible disabilities. So that ties into the main theme of our program, and we got to practice what we preach, right? If we're telling people to take care of their mental health and things like that, we want to also do that for ourselves. And the university offers a lot of mental health resources, and they're there to be used. They're going to do a lot of presentations in class for you when you first come into the university, so you'll be able to get a little bit more insight into what those resources can offer. But definitely reach out to them if you need it. As for academic success, time management is key. I keep a Google Calendar of all the things I need to do. Again, we do a lot of group projects. You want to make sure you're on the same page with everyone, making sure that you're noting down whenever you're meeting, whatever due dates are. The professors in this program are honestly the chillest professors I've ever had. They're super cool. I could like go get coffee with them. Um, but you also want to make sure that you're respecting their time and how long it takes them to mark assignments. So you want to make sure you hand things in on time as as uh, as much as you can. And then finding study spots is a game changer. For booking private rooms, you want to do that so far in advance. They fill up quick, especially at the Taylor Digital Library. We have a library too at the hospital, which I actually got to study there for the first time a few months ago, and it was really nice. So I highly recommend that you go there. We also have the Feesby Lounge, which is just for the the coming School of Medicine students, I believe. And it is very nice in there, super nice study spot. You got to go in with your card and um, it's just for us. So highly recommend that place too. And on campus, there are little nooks and crannies that you can find that are really quiet and just awesome for studying. For social life, um, make friends inside and outside of your program. It's super important. So whenever you have those elective classes, make friends there. It's really important. Also, like if you ever miss a class, which is going to happen, um, you want to make sure that you are caught up. And the best way to do that, I find, is to ask peers who were at the class because professors are busy, especially for your elective classes. Usually, if you take like psychology or biology or some sort of like science class, they're going to be extremely busy. They're not always going to get back to you. So I recommend asking peers before you ask um, the professor or the TA. Um, for inside of your program, everyone in this program is super kind and helpful. Everyone we peer mentor for the first year students, and it was so sweet. After the last day of classes on Thursday, a lot of them like stayed behind and started talking to each other, and it was just so sweet to see that like everyone kind of building that community as first year students. And then get involved on campus. There are lots of opportunities, lots of clubs, lots of volunteer opportunities. You'll definitely get a lot of emails from Ben and Sarah about those things. So get involved as much as you can. And then tips. Budgeting is your best friend, especially as a student. If you are working, still budget. The textbook costs can sometimes be a little much. Little things like that, especially if you're living alone or even living on campus. Those little costs sometimes can make a big change in your budgeting. So you want to make sure that you got all of that down. And then meal prepping saves your wallet, that's for sure. You don't always want to go out and eat. If like on a Sunday evening, you're able to set aside some time to make some meal prep, some good food that you can have for the rest of the week. I find that super helpful. So definitely recommend it. Our favorite core classes, elective classes, and places to eat. So core classes, I personally loved any of, honestly, I can't remember the specific names right now. But any class with Tiffany, Megan, and Tiffany Bolton, Megan Edwards, and Alan Martino have been my absolute favorite classes. I love those professors. They are they they hold a special place in my heart. And they are just amazing. Elective classes, I did a lot of psychology classes because that's my special interest. I definitely recommend going like picking elective classes that are your niche, that you know you're going to enjoy because you're going to do better in them if you enjoy the content. I took a lot of linguistics classes, obviously, speech person. I love linguistics. And I took a biology class, and honestly, I really enjoyed that one. So things like that, and then places to eat. My favorite is Brew and Blend at Murray Fraser. Fraser, is that it? Yeah. Okay, my favorite. I love it. They have like the best smoothies and best sandwiches ever. So highly recommend you go eat there.
Shoko?
I feel like I didn't really have like like one class that really stood out to me, but I really enjoyed my practicum classes. I feel like that really gave me like a good like grounding on like or like ideas for what I wanted to do afterwards or like if like a specific field or like a kind of work wasn't fit for me, it was like a nice way to find out without having to pay the price for it. Like, so that was kind of nice. Favorite electives, same thing. I feel like there was like certain classes like I took what was it? Like an anthropology class. That was pretty cool. We're just kind of like looking at like, like human evolution stuff. Totally unrelated, but that was a pretty cool class. I think it was like anthropology 201 or something like that. I took a lot of drama classes for my electives because I was a theater kid in high school. So I appreciated those. And especially now after COVID, there's definitely like cool classes, even online for drama, surprisingly, believe it or not. So even if you aren't like, an extrovert and more introverted like I am, they still have like cool like workshop style kind of classes for drama. So I do recommend those if you're also like into the arts like I am. And then for places to eat, I'm pretty basic, so I just kind of go anywhere, whatever's nearby. Yeah.
Ruby.
Okay, so I agree with the sentiment with Laura. I love any classes with Tiffany, Alan Martino, Megan Edwards. I get coffee with Tiffany Bolton all the time. So like definitely, find classes that they have in. But like the one that I actually like really recommend, and I might just be like a psychology nerd, which I am. But it's called Mad Studies or Mental Health and Disabilities. It's a core 569, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's really fun. The assessments or the assignments doesn't always revolve around like writing long essays, which you assume, all university classes will have. But depending on the prof, you're gonna have like fun written assignments like writing a theater play or writing a play. And so I really recommend that. And even with core classes, it's a very diverse way of assessing our knowledge. So you guys are set for that for core classes. For elective courses, I might just be a nerd, which I am. Psychology classes, neuroscience classes, those are my favorite classes. I recently took a pharmacology one, um, and an anthropology, an animal nerd as well. So Anthropology 311, which is about primate behavior, which is actually kind of cool. And you'll kind of notice how we're very similar with monkeys, because we evolved from them. But anyways, yeah. Also, what I discovered in my last 2 years, maybe you can do the same, because I did all my core classes first. But dance classes, we actually have dance classes on campus. I grew up with a dance background, but with those classes, you're not actually graded on those classes. It's either pass or fail, so you just need to try, right? And honestly, that's a really, really good way to make friends. I had a blast for my last 2 years. I did ballroom dancing, so that was cool. So something that you've never done before, like I definitely recommend like doing theater, doing dance. Like these are very good ways. Just make friends off of like out of your own like comfort zone and out of just core. Places to eat will probably be Bake Chef. Bake Chef is like Viet sub world. They're really known for their Viet subs, but they don't also make Viet sub. They make like banger Chinese buns. So good. They make like cookies, brownies, they make a lot of things. But my biggest tip is avoid it during like noon because everybody's gonna go there. So if you want to go get Bake Chef, do it before 12 or do it after 12. But yeah, that's what I kind of enjoyed.
Willia.
For my favorite core classes, I'm gonna have to say also for me, the practicum classes. I really liked that we could kind of do like more real life application, and that is what counted as your mark for the class. So I really did enjoy that. Elective courses, I was just looking through my portal right now. Surprisingly, I have done a lot of anthropology classes as well. I did not realize that would be something I would be interested in, but it is really cool to kind of see the similarities. There's so many similarities that you don't even realize. And with anthropology, there's also many different types of anthropology classes. So, like Ruby was saying, I also took that class, that kind of evolution one. But I'd recommend definitely taking the intro and 201 intro to anthropology. The professor is very nice and like helping you kind of understand because I did not know what anthropology was, to be very honest. That is not something I thought I'd be interested in at all. But I took that course and I was like, this is actually this is a good topic. I like it. So I definitely recommend like reading course descriptions kind of to see like what the course is about, and then you do realize that you might be passionate about things you never even thought about prior. Um, Favorite place to eat. Okay, Ruby said it, but I will eat from Bake Chef. I love Bake Chef. Their Vietnamese subs are so good. That is pretty much all I eat on campus, to be very honest. So please definitely go to Bake Chef.
That's good. I didn't know that they made brownies, so now I'm gonna have to go and find one today. Um, for myself, my favorite classes have actually been core 594 and 595, which is what me and my fellow peer mentors are in right now. We were invited to be peer mentors for first year students for this past year. So the fall term and the winter term. We got to work with mostly the same group of students and we got to know them and help guide them through aspects that we didn't even know we were going to encounter. um, for me personally, I thought it was just going to be about helping them adjust to university life and then helping them with course concepts and that kind of stuff. But it actually turned into a very much of a give and take relationship between myself and the first year students. So it was really, really satisfying to be a part of that. And it's very different than working in a nonprofit um, company working with clients or in a clinical aspect working with patients. Um, so it's been a lot of fun. And if you are interested in that, once you get to your final year, start bugging Dr. Patty Desjardins about it. See if she will let you be it, invite you to be it. My favorite elective courses, um, I think, would have to be gender and sexuality studies. I took it twice, and I was able to take it twice because it was on two different subjects. So even though my transcript says um, GSXS two times, it still qualifies as two separate classes because the topics were different. And I mean, I got to watch movies and write papers on those movies. I got to watch documentaries. Um, and for me, as an older student, there was quite a bit of unlearning in my university experience that I had to do just because my education was very different from the uh, education that you all are having right now. And then lastly, for my favorite place to eat, all of the peer mentors are well aware of this. I am a sucker for cinnamon buns. So Cinzio is my number one place. And my figure can attest to that. Okay, so we're going to go on to our next slide now.
I don't know if I can hear the sound.
You can't hear it?
No.
Hmm.
Oops, I was muted. You might have to go into the advanced settings of like share screen and press like share sound.
I don't know why it's not working. Might have to just read it, I think. Sorry, Hunter.
Essentially, what it is admissions and recruitment have put out a challenge for all students participating in U at UCalgary. Um, keep your eye on your inbox for more details about that. We don't have any more details, unfortunately. We've literally been just told, tell your students to keep their eyes on their inbox. There's apparently really cool swag and prizes. I know last year they gave away some Beats by Dre earphones. They gave away a couple tablets. So a student in each year is awarded, if you will, a year's tuition. So there's really cool prizes that are available, but more information will be available in your email inbox.
Thanks, Ben. Technical difficulties and all. We're going to move on to our next one with Wilia.
Hey, so what we can do with our BCR degree. I feel like when people think of the word degree, they kind of often have like a narrow career path in mind. But the good thing about community rehab degree is the possibilities are endless. So there is definitely many different routes one could take. Obviously, not all options are on here, but here are some potential routes. So, interested in government with this degree, you could go into policy advisor. If you are more interested in like the business point of view, you could do inclusive design developer. If we are strong for advocating, human rights lawyer. Community health support, you could do program coordinator. Family support, which is, I will say, a lot. We will definitely get emails for opportunities for family support for sure. So if you are interested in that, keep an eye out on your email. But it has more like early intervention specialist. If you are interested in the disability services aspect specifically, you could do a caseworker. If you are interested in more of the mental health aspect, psychiatry aid. Vocational, you could do the return to work case manager. And if you are interested in further education, you could obviously go into your master's and doctorate from this degree. So, needless to say, there are many, many, many routes you can take. It doesn't have to be specific to just disability if that is something you did not feel as passionate about. There are many different routes you can take that are more personal and something you might be more passionate with.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that was awesome, Julia. This is definitely more than just a degree. It's a flexible and powerful credential that will open many doors to many different sectors in your world. So now, understanding that, let's play a game. Let's play BCR Career Jeopardy, where you can find out how the BCR degree can elevate your career. In order to do this, I'm going to stop sharing and pull up the screen because I should have had this prepped prior. So just give me a second. Hunter, you feeling like answering some questions? You don't have to, you can type, just so you know. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to come back and share my screen now. This one, yes. Can I get a thumbs up from anybody when you can see it? Okay, and it's just the one screen, just the Jeopardy screen that you see? Okay. All right, Hunter, would you like to pick a category and a question? Can somebody jump on and tell me what he says? Because I don't want to click on things and freeze up my
Yeah,
screen.
we're gonna do healthcare and medicine for 100.
Okay. So a BCR degree would help this professional understand the social stigma their patient faces in accessing care while diagnosing and treating the patient in their office. Did he write an answer? And did he write it as a question? We'll go with
Okay, we do have a response in the chat.
oh, what do you say?
Maybe a mental health professional?
Close. It's a what is a physician? Do you want to do another one? Or does any of our peer mentors
I
want to?
think Hunter gets a point for that. That's close
Oh,
enough.
yeah,
Let's-
it's pretty close.
A mental health professional is a type of physician.
Hmm.
Why don't we all pick one?
Yeah.
Can I do education and academia for 200?
A BCR degree would help this professional design curricula and research initiatives that explore accessibility and inclusion in education at the post-secondary level.
A professor?
What is a professor? Yay!
I
Points
get
for
a
Ruby.
point.
Well, you get 200 apparently. Uh, anybody else?
I'll do law and public service for 100.
A BCR degree would help this professional understand the unique challenges people with disabilities face in navigating the legal system and appropriately represent those clients in legal matters that require a unique approach.
Caseworker?
Close.
Oh, lawyer.
Yeah,
You're
legal
getting
caught
too
you.
specific.
Yeah. Don't forget your category. Laura?
I'll do technology and engineering for 100.
A BCR degree would help this professional design software that is accessible to the disability community, including features like screen readers, voice recognition, and adaptive controls.
What is a software engineer?
Bang
Develop.
on, girl. The same. Yeah, no, that's the same thing. Hunter, did you want to try one more?
Okay, we're
Hunter
gonna
says
pick
business and finance 100.
A BCR degree would help this professional address the physical and social barriers faced by employees with disabilities while overseeing the company's actions, business plans, and goals. Laura, your mouth is open. Are you okay?
I couldn't think of the answer.
He
Okay,
said,
we are guessing
what
what
is
is
a human resource?
Oh, it's a CEO, and that can always get confused with human resources just because they are high up in the hierarchy of things. Ben, do you want to try one?
Ben had a question.
Sure. No, my answer to that
Oh,
last
that
one
was your
was
answer.
what
I'm
is
so sorry.
EH&S, Environmental Health and Safety. Um, let's go technology and engineering for 200.
A BCR degree would help this professional create accessible digital environments and implement solutions to improve accessibility while maintaining computer systems and networks.
What is information technology specialist? IT.
Right on.
Oh,
Well done, sir.
I didn't even look at the answers beforehand.
Awesome. That's fun, hey? Oh, that was great. Okay. I am going to change sharing my screen back to the PowerPoint, unless anybody wanted to do another one. Are we good? I'm going to assume we're okay. All right, we should be back on this screen. And we're going over to our Q&A. So Hunter, we're here to support you. Reach out and get involved. And welcome, 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 welcome to UCalgary. They are so lucky to have you. Do you have any questions for us?
So I think what we'll do before you start asking questions, Hunter, is I'm going to stop the recording, and then that way we can get into the questions in depth. Does
Perfect.
anybody
Thank
have
you.
anything else they want to mention before we end recording?
The only other thing on here is this part.
Okay, I'll just pause the recording then.
Okay. More questions that we might be able to help you with? This isn't super specific to BCR DS. I like that BCR DS.
Um, okay. I took my first ever block week courses this year. Here are my honest thoughts. Okay, do your research, aka Reddit. Um, that helps a lot too because because I feel like a block week is either a hit or a miss. It is either the best thing or the worst thing, depending on what course you do. Kind of think about the course load, what the content is, stuff like that. Is this something that I would need more time to understand because it is going to be speed run? Yeah, Ruby.
Totally right. That's why I do recommend, okay, I'm gonna be really straight. Probably don't do block week courses that you need for
Or
like,
like a requirement course.
yeah, your requirement
Yeah. Do
courses.
not
Yeah.
do a requirement course in a block week, please. Uh,
For me, a
I,
block.
huh?
think Ruby and I were in the same block week course. It was a German film study class. It was the best thing ever. It was such a good block week class. I could not imagine taking that class an entire semester, respectfully. Wrapping it up in a week, perfect. But like,
I would genuinely recommend, honestly, I took like 3 block week classes and they were all film. Why? Because you can just sit back and watch a movie. Because
mhm.
that's what I did.
Film study.
And
Yeah, me too, actually, film studies. Because then you're just like you just have to kind of analyze the film, and it's at home. I would love to
and if
see.
you're a
For
big anime fan, there's a Japanese one, so I would recommend that.
if
Listen,
you're
I will say, if you take a requirement core class with Megan Edwards for your block week, I would recommend doing, if you're gonna take like a core class during block week, do it with Megan.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now.
it's
and
just
my
it's just at a
my
more
recommendation would
doable
be
pace.
if you we don't know your personal situation, Hunter. Um, we are not going to assume anything. For me, I'm married, I have kids, etc. I took a block week course. I will never take a block week course again because of my other responsibilities. It was too difficult for me to be able to put on all of my other hats, all my other roles, and take a block week course.
Yeah, I
Um,
will say whenever I've taken a block week course, I have taken the whole week off work just because it is extremely difficult to do both. It is longer hours than like a usual class would be. So keep stuff like that in mind too. Um, yeah, but it can be very helpful, I will say. And for me, again, I don't think you're supposed to, but I liked Reddit because they told you the ones that were available online and in person. Personally, I loved the online block weeks just because I did not want to be at school from 9 to 5 every single day. But when you're doing it on Zoom, they give you breaks. It is amazing. We love it.
awesome. Well, Shoko, yes, block week, sorry.
Hey, Reddit is a great resource because even if it isn't just for block week, sometimes you sign up for a class and like you read the course description, you have a like you think you have a good idea, but you're also like, what the heck am I doing? Like, do they mark like on a few things? Like just like details like that. Your peers, they got your back and they will let you know in Reddit. It's a great tool. So yeah, Reddit is you need it.
Thanks, guys. Um, Benjamin said a note saying we have to wrap it up. So we are super grateful that you came today, Hunter. I hope you feel like you've gotten a lot of attention because um, it was all for you today. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
That
Oh,
final PowerPoint.
that's okay. Sorry, the final PowerPoint.
The slide
The
for the
slide.
The slide with the QR code.
for attendance.
Okay, I will bring that back
That
up.
this is important, Hunter, if anything else.
Ah,
So
is it? Sorry, I
by
sound.
attending the info session here, um, if you take this QR code, you're going to register yourself and identify that you did, in fact, participate. This will make you eligible for a bit of an earlier enrollment start time. It's not going to be months in advance. It's probably going to be a couple of days, but it will be a couple of days prior to the rest of your cohort, along with everybody who attends in person this afternoon. So please take the QR code, mark yourself
Hunter, that's going to
as
make a huge
present.
difference, by the way. That's going to make a huge difference, even just a few days in advance.